We are live. Okay, welcome back, folks. We're here for another Mind Meld PR breaking news vlog, and I have a terrific guest with me today to talk about marketing automation, how to use marketing strategy to make your marketing automation more effective. I'm really looking forward to this. Partly out of selfish interest. I mean, I would like our marketing for Mind Meld PR to be so much more effective. So we're speaking today with Jeff Beale. And Jeff is, he's a marketing strategist. He's a best-selling author. Jeff has helped businesses increase their customer engagements by teaching them how to leverage authority marketing techniques. And so he's also known as Mr. Marketology. So before we go any further and get into the nitty gritty of how to do marketing automation effectively, maybe we could, number one, I should probably segue. How does this connect with PR? Again, PR is a subset of marketing. PR is a force multiplier for marketing, but you have to have some marketing set up in order to multiply something. So marketing automation is huge these days. So Jeff is an expert in this. Before we get into the nitty gritty, what is there anything else that we need to know about you and what you've been up to lately, Jeff?
Well, as far as myself, I have had the opportunity to sit at every place at the table when it comes to marketing, even at the kiddie table. So I've been able to be a practitioner, an executive, a consultant, a freelancer, a manager, every seat at that table, even a consumer. So when I look at marketing, I kind of look at it from different vantage points to see how it makes sense for, the different points of view. So that's one thing. And as far as what's going on with me, I've been focusing on figuring out better ways to help companies build their marketing strategy. I've found that a lot of people think of marketing as a mystical or magical practice, but a lot of the basics and best practices are the same and have been the same, whether it's been digital or it's been back in the days with Mad Men when you just, did a bunch of ads and push market. But, a lot of the principles are the same. And so I am becoming a student of it. And as a student sharing, I don't want to say like a guru or teacher. I'm just a student and I share my findings of myself as well as my clients with others to help build the business community all together. So I've been putting together and I put together this community now in which I can now house that. So, that's what I've been up to. I've been up to learning, sharing, teaching, hopefully helping.
That's fantastic. Well, there's a lot going on there, and I have to say, by the way, our careers sort of there's some continuity there. I've done it all as well on the marketing front, and I'm better at some things than others, which is why I decided to specialize in PR. It seems to be my thing, and I seem to be pretty good at passing on those skills to my team. One thing that I'm not good at, and I have to admit this, by doing it on my own, marketing automation, not my area of expertise. So what should we kick off with?
Well, that's a great thing to kick it off with. I mean, when it comes to marketing, knowing your strengths and dealing with your strengths is very important. A lot of us want to be the marketer that can market everything and do it all. And really, you have to have a good team. You have to have those that have strengths in different areas, because think of marketing as a journey, a trip. You have those that are great with knowing where you want to go. So they set the goals. This is where we want to go. You have those that are great with mapping it out. So that's the strategy. They're the ones that pull out Remember the days with the map, the paper map? Well, now it's the GPS. Those are the ones that program it in the phone and say, this is where we're going and how we're going to get there. Then you have those that need to be the person that brings the snacks. And, you know, there's a person that's good at getting the snacks together. Well, that's the lead magnets. That's what makes people want to learn more or do business with you, find out more about you. So they bring the snacks. There's the other person that plots out exactly where your stops are going to be. These are these points of interest. So they're the ones that say, okay, I do ads. That's what I do best. I do landing pages. That's what I do best. I'm doing emails. That's what I do best. These are those points of interest. So somebody that plots that out, and then in those points of interest, those that specialize in doing just those points of interest. A lot of times we want to be the captain of the ship. I'll drive, I'll map it out, you know, I'll bring the snacks, I'll do everything. The problem with that is there's not enough time in the day, and you're probably not good at the majority of it, but you're good at one thing. And if you're in business, you're good at doing the business you're in. If you're spending all your time doing a bunch of stuff that you're not good at, then, you know, think about it. You're driving a car, so you're driving. You're programming in your phone the coordinates in the GPS. You're reaching in the back seat for the snacks. You're going to crash. You're just going to crash.
Right.
And so, you know, just understanding what you're best at and then knowing enough to know who to hire is very important. Knowing enough to who to partner with. You know, I'm not good at writing. I know that. You know, it's not that I can't write. It's just, I'm just not a wordsmith. So for me to try to write all the emails and copy and so forth, I'll spend years trying to figure it out versus hiring somebody that, like yourself, that's a wordsmith, that writing's what you do. You're in PR, you know, relationship building's what you do. You have somebody like yourself go ahead and take care of the PR, knowing what to write, who to pitch it to, how to pitch it to them, who to get in front of, all of those things versus I can just figure it all out myself because I read a blog and I know a couple of places like PR Wire and stuff that I can submit my stuff. And now I'm submitting it all wrong. So that's really the key to it.
Well, this is a great holistic look at marketing, and now we're about to get into the marketing automation part. I need to pause for a moment in that, you know, what you've said some very illuminating things, but I'm getting way too much illumination on my face right now. I'm practically blinded. I gotta close these blinds. Give me 5 seconds. Feel free to keep talking and entertaining our audience. Okay.
Sure.
I'll be right back in 10 seconds.
All right. So let's talk about what marketing is. Well, marketing is really just the getting in front of your audience and giving them a message that pertains to what they're looking for. Marketing is not the techniques. We always look at marketing as the techniques. Well, it's advertising or it's promotion. That's a part of marketing. But marketing, in a nutshell, you're just providing information to those that are looking for a certain product or service, whatever you have to offer. That's marketing. How you get in front of them, there's so many ways. But if you think of that, another thing to think about when it comes to marketing, you can get caught up in the tools, you can get caught up in the tricks, or you can get caught up in the results. A lot of times you don't have a revenue problem, you have a strategy problem. You're getting caught up so much in the tools that I have to advertise on this platform or I have to promote this way that you forget the real goal is if you were outside dancing on a corner and that brought you business, that should be your marketing strategy. Not I have to do Facebook ads because everybody's doing Facebook ads. You know, so focusing on the end goal, what works, and then we're going to get into the real secret of it in just a minute.
Terrific.
Oh, that was a good commercial.
No, that was great. That was great. So I am very much looking forward to. Maybe we should. Do you want to define very succinctly what people tend to mean when they use the phrase marketing automation? What are we talking about here?
Yeah, a lot of times people look at marketing automation and they tie it into the software that they're going to use. So if they say marketing automation, they're using the email software like, let's say MailChimp or ActiveCampaign, and they'll say marketing automation is that. Well, that's a part of it, but that's really email automation, and it's a part of it. Or they'll say, well, marketing automation is going through automating the actual cart experience. Yeah, it's a part of it, but the automation part, marketing is the message. So that's the message. The automation part is whatever solution and processes you put in place in order to make this replicate over and over again without you needing to manually be there. So that's really the automation part. And there's several components that fit into it depending on your strategy.
Right. So let's take maybe a specific example. Could be from a client that you represent, but we don't have to name names. Just so we're not stepping on any NDA confidentiality agreements or anything like that. But or so we can either go from real life example, or we can just imagine. I have a factory that makes widgets, and I have an idea of who my target market is, and we have customer base. But if I wanted to add marketing automation to the mix, what would I be doing? So feel free to take it away.
Okay. So let me go from the beginning to the end. Well, I won't say the beginning, because the beginning is knowing your audience. But let me go from the ad point of interest all the way to the conversion and after conversion. So to automate these processes, so you have your ads, you put your ads into place. Those ads actually drive traffic to a certain destination. Now, to automate your ads, you can put rules in place depending on the platform, and those rules can adjust your ads based on the performance of your audience. So they can either increase the spend, decrease the spend, shut ads off completely based on the results that you're getting from the ads. Now that automates your advertisement. So you don't have to actually every day go in and look at the performance, figure it out, change the ads, which we've all done. I've done that myself. And time to time still do, because you want to make sure that you're on point. But to automate it, you can put rules into place. A lot of people know terms like lookalike audiences and retargeting and remarketing. Those type of techniques are usually automated. So usually based on the results, you set rules to say, well, I want to now do this action. So that's with advertisement. The next thing is they go to some point of landing, whether it's a landing page, whether it's a lead form, they go to that part. Now, to automate that, you want to put things in place that may, in some cases, personalize it. So if you have their data already and they go to your page, you can say, hey, Jonathan, and you're like, wow, how did he know my name? Well, that's the automation process. You can then show them certain content based on who they are. You can then pop up chat bots or pop up forms at certain times that from your data that more people respond if the pop-up box isn't the first thing that they see. A lot of times when it's the first thing they see, they just click off of it because it's intrusive. But if they scroll to a certain point on the page, then you pop up the box. So you know that there is some interest in what you have to say. And so now you're offering something at a good time. So that automates some of that process. Then, of course, everybody knows about this process. Once they fill out the form, they go to some sort of lead capturing process to go to emails or text messages. And usually there's a series of communication that comes from that. And that's usually automated. So it's not like you're typing it at that time. You have a series already pre-written, already scheduled, that when they come in, the first thing that they get is a thank you. The second thing that they get is maybe more background about you. Third thing they get is maybe an offer. But however you sequence based on your audience preference, that is the sequence of communication that you give to them. And then once you start getting more advanced based on their, what we call triggers, but based on their actions, you give them another series of communications. So it is triggered based on what they do. They may purchase something, so they go down one path of thank you for the purchase and maybe an upsell. They may abandon the cart, so they put it on the cart, but they decided not to do it. There's another series of emails or texts that you want to send them. They may not buy anything, but then there's another thing to educate them to make them feel more comfortable to now buy from you. So that's the one most people look at marketing automation as. They just know that one. The next thing, let's say they purchase. After they purchase, a lot of people say thank you, and that's it. That's all you get. Well, they're already customers. This is a great chance to resell them on something else, or to get them to evangelize to others and be ambassadors of what you offer, and now bring you more business. So automating that process. Have you thought about sharing this, or get them in an affiliate program that you may have, or have them give you a testimonial for some other offer that you now will give them if they are providing you a testimonial. But that whole process is automated, so you're not physically saying, wow, John just bought from me, thanks John, da, 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 and you're typing away. No, it's automated. It just goes out, and based on that action, he gets into a certain stream of communication, and you've already thought it through. But this is the hard part. A lot of us are reactionary. We don't think it through and plan it. So you want to think everything through, all situations. Now, I'm going to let you know it's going to change. Once you start getting people in, data is going to show you the paths you want to take. But thinking through as much as possible, and putting it in place, and then modifying the small little tweaks here and there, versus somebody just bought from me and now I've lost 10, 20 different customers that I could have had be my evangelists, but I didn't think about that. So those are lost opportunities.
What would you say? So actually, one question that I have goes to how we're tracking all of this activity that you can take actions on. And is this where we're getting into tracking pixels? And I don't know how into the weeds we want to get, but maybe you can explain how that works.
Yes, definitely at a high level. So you want to track from the beginning if you can. So if you know that you're going to use certain platforms, they all have pixels, and these pixels track the activity. So you want to definitely track the activity, because how do you know what converts if there's no way to track it? That's one thing. Another thing is it's going to help your ad spend, because with that tracking, they can then adjust, and you may not spend as much because of your performance. So that's the first thing. The second thing, you want to definitely track your website activity, or whichever platform you're pushing them to convert. You want to know what the visitors are doing once they hit your landing page or your website or whatever be the case. You want to be able to track that, so you can make some decisions on the type of content you have, and the experience that they have when they come to your website and so forth. I want to get into your space, even in PR. When you're putting out your press, you want to be able to track and know which release did best, which piece of content did best, which platform that you put it on. You might have, I would say platform. I keep saying platform because that's the space I'm in, but which publication did best. You want to be able to track that. And if you can track that, then you know that I need to then go back out to that publication, versus we sent out a press release, a bunch of people picked it up. We think it did well because we saw a bump, but we don't know which one actually created that bump. Well, if you're putting in what we call UTMs, but it's some code on the links that you put on the end of the links. You can then say, oh, I know that this particular publication drove the amount of traffic that we received, or convert it, because I know that based on this tracking code that I put on it, that these people actually purchased, where these people just looked and bounced off. So you want to definitely put all your tracking on. Think through that strategy. So you have a what we call schema, but you have a schema of how you're going to track different things before, because the worst thing you want to do is it worked and you don't know what worked. You just know it worked. And so now you're still spending money on things that didn't work because you don't know what worked.
So we've covered a lot of ground here in terms of setting goals, the basics of tracking and how you track, and what you what kind of data is meaningful. Is there so let's say you've got a company that understands these principles. And they've kind of got it down, but in terms of time, effort, expense, I don't know how you want to talk about that. How much of an effort is marketing automation? And I think the thing to connect to this is, in terms of inputs, I guess are infinite. Really, you can do as much as you want, but in terms of, maybe a better way to phrase this question is, what kind of results have you seen from marketing automation that have made or break, helped make a company achieve real success?
Sure. I would say, let me, instead of like numbers, let me put it in the ways that you win with marketing automation. The first thing that happens when you put together a good strategy with the automation in place is you save a lot of money, because you're not wasting money on things that didn't work. You save a lot of time in that aspect. Instead of having somebody that, let's say an assistant that actually physically sends out emails to every single person that comes to your site and puts in their information, you have an automated way. So that saves time for them to do something else. So think of it as savings as well as earnings. Another thing that it actually helps with is the marketing automation helps you fine tune your efforts to expand on what you're actually making revenue on. So you know that certain components are working and working well, and now that they're automated, you don't have to worry about going back and saying, what did we do? What did we say? You can actually see where the chain broke and what didn't work and fix just that. Another thing is, what if you have a star employee like Jonathon is just a rock star, but he gets a better offer and he leaves? It's going to be real hard to replace. I mean, because this has been not a system put in place, it's a person. And if that person ever leaves, they're going to be hard to replace, and you'll probably never replace Jonathon because his style is his style. You probably will never find another person that can do what he does the way he does it. So now that kind of replication that you need, you can't do it. You just can't replicate it. So that's another advantage of it. So outside of just profits, there's so many other benefits of having your automation in place that will increase that bottom line that you're looking for.
Terrific. This has been really great for me as well, not just my audience. Number one, you've touched on a few points that, I've sort of, they've come into my brain over the years, but, you have a great way of tying it all together. So thank you for that, Jeff.
Oh, yeah.
You've been very generous with your time. Is there anything else on the topic of marketing automation that you think our listeners would want to know?
Yes, definitely. The first thing that you want to do when you are setting up your automation is you want to get the best defined audience you can. That way you know that at least you're hitting the right people. And then you want to look and listen as much as possible to their behaviors as they go through your actual journey. That helps you to define your automation uh, as they go through the journey versus throwing a lot of stuff up and seeing what sticks type of approach. So that will be my biggest action step that I would say is take some time to define your audience, figure out who they are, what drives them, what they want, and then from there, then start to build that strategy of where do we want to put automation, where we need somebody to physically be there to talk to them. What are the steps we want them to take? The goal at the end, and then how can we maximize that goal after they have that conversion? So that's what I would leave as an ending note.
Terrific. Well, there's a lot to think about there. And Jeff Beale, you've been a wonderful presenter and really interesting. And I'm so glad we got to talk again.
Sure.
Now, before I let you go, how can people find out more about you, learn more about what you offer?
Sure. If they go to Mr. Marketology, that's MrMarketology.com, they can find out more about me. That's Mr. Marketology is all my socials. So that's how you can find me. And the community is marketologygroup.com. You can be a part of the community where we talk about different strategies like this. We dig into strategies piece by piece to help you to achieve your business goals.
Terrific, terrific. Well, for those who have been listening or perhaps watching on the YouTube version, you've been watching the Mind Meld PR breaking news vlog, and I'm your host, Jonathon Narvey, the founder of Mind Meld PR. If you like what you just saw, and then please click that like button, click subscribe, send me money, hire us. It's yeah, so looking forward to hearing from all of you and seeing your comments and engagement on this video. And yeah, I will see you in the next episode. Thank you very much.